Many cinematic and video game attempts have been made to capture the terror and isolation of Ridley Scott's 1979 classic Alien. The films took a nosedive after James Cameron's sequel Aliens, and video game adaptations have largely been unfulfilling. Given what an excellent blueprint the source material makes for a video game, it's almost inevitable that someone will eventually create a classic title featuring H.R. Geiger's iconic xenomorphs. Given the amount of access offered to the developer of Alien Colonial Marines, and the fact that its narrative is being considered canon by the stewards of the franchise, it seems like it could be a contender for the covered spot of the quintessential game based on the Aliens IP. Having received a distress call sent out by Corporal Hicks during the events of the film Aliens, the Marines of the USS Sephora under the command of Captain Cruz arrived with the intent of unraveling the mysteries of a colony, Hadley's Hope, and the disappearance of the Sulaco Marines. You take on the role of Corporal Christopher Winters. Emerging from cryosleep, you are the last of your battalion, as the previous units have failed to complete their mission.
Corporal Winter, I'm sending in Rhino 2-1 to reinforce 2-3. How are you feeling, kid?
I'm feeling good, Captain. But I'm worried about 2-3.
That's good, because I'm sending you in to catch up with Rhino 2-1. They're trying to get the Sulaco flight recorder so we can see who caused this.
Sir, what happened in there?
We shit the bed.
The atmosphere buildup during the intro quickly diminishes with every passing minute. Aliens Colonial Marines starts off as a mystery but ends up being a chain of rescue missions with the occasional mix-up, feeling wholly irrelevant to the alien universe.
Let's get moving.
Sephora Actual, this is Winter. We've recovered Bella from Rhino 2-3, but are being fired upon by Weyland-Yutani forces. Heading to the bridge. Please advise on fastest route.
A few audio logs and legendary weapons modeled after key character weapons from the film remind you of the source material and act as fan service. Doing nothing more than rehashing moments from the movies, Colonial Marine never finds its own identity or establishes its events as being of any importance. Wasting no time, Colonial Marines throws their player into the action, failing to build any tension, removing the horror elements involved with any first encounter. With that out of the picture, Colonial Marine never sets itself apart from shooters from the past decade, nor capturing the feeling of Ridley Scott's and James Cameron's films. You are given a motion detector that is utterly useless since enemies pop out with such frequency that there is rarely a need for it. Likewise, the enemy AI is too dumb to even create the illusion that you are prey. With 90% of the game spent pulling the trigger, Colonial Marine's few highlight moments are swept aside, becoming a grind through hordes of mindless enemies. Trying to grasp anything from the films, your squad is forced into the personalities of the second film's cast. Not only that, they are poorly written with heaps of melodramatic soap opera dialogue.
You know, I was gonna save this last bullet for myself.
Whoa! It's fine! We're fine! Just put it down, Bella! Bella, put it down.
You just pointed a gun at a superior officer.
Last I checked, your orders were to put one in your skull should the turn.
Stop it! Just, let's get back to operations, alright?
The game really wants you to like them and connect to them, but it would be easier to develop an attachment to a case of hemorrhoids. Taking an established and iconic art style and expanding upon it as a game is certainly much easier than building a unique new look. It doesn't take long to see that the ball was dropped here as well. The USS Sephora appears to have been lit by someone whose resume consists of setting up lights for third-rate Miami discotheques and children's parties. Blue lights, red lights, and orange lights all clash in the same area, interrupting any semblance of cohesion to the game's environments. The most archaic of texture compression methods must have been employed as well, since some of the textures look ripped from an N64 title. As with many games on the Unreal 3 engine, texture pop-in plagues the experience, and for the sake of your eyes, you might want to consider running through an entire area before the textures load. Characters look robotic and animate poorly. Staring into Captain Cruz's hollow eyes and watching his massive chin bob up and down as he vomits his silly dialogue is mildly disturbing.
I wake up in the morning thanking baby Jesus for every day I'm in the Corps. So I'm gonna be good goddamned if I let Weyland-Yutani take that away from me.
The xenomorphs look decent until they are shot once and seem to break out with alien pox. Bullets instantly cover the bugs with green spots representing blood. It just looks ridiculous. The music at least sounds the part and does an excellent job evoking the sweet nostalgia from your first viewing of the classic films.
2-1, pack it up and let's move! Flat wreck is en route.
As is customary in the FPS genre, Colonial Marines includes competitive and cooperative multiplayer. If you're looking for an immersive co-op experience, look elsewhere, as Colonial Marines brings nothing new to the plate other than adding another gun to the dual fray. Competitive multiplayer does little to add to the experience, consisting of team deathmatch, which should require no explanation, extermination, which is a King of the Hill variant, escape, which channels Left 4 Dead by tasking a team of Marines to escape while aliens players hunt them down, and survivor, which tasks you with holding out as long as possible against alien players. The problem with the multiplayer is that it doesn't do anything new. Rehashing modes done better in other games, it falls into the pit of forgettable FPS games. Other than the ability to play as iconic characters from the movies, Colonial Marines multiplayer becomes as dull as its campaign. Some enjoyment could be had with friends, but friends don't recommend games like Colonial Marines. Your money is best spent on Natural Selection 2 for human versus alien action. For just a bit more than the cost of Colonial Marines, you could have 4 copies of the game to share with your friends.
Keep him off me! I gotta reload!
Colonial Marines tries to please the fans with audio logs, legendary weapons, and ideas of a greater story, but quickly becomes its own enemy by reminding you how great its source material is. Awful visuals, derivative gameplay, a lack of tension, and short bus AI basically filling in the footnotes of a more iconic narrative all derail what was promising about Colonial Marines. There is no reason to play this game, as it only does a poor job mimicking what FPS games from the past decade have done, while abandoning the most intriguing aspects of its IP. 7 years of development have done this game no favors. In space, no one can hear you scream, and after playing this game, your neighbors would likely banish you to the stars to escape the cries of frustration and disappointment.